So you hear these arguments every Christmas. Some people say if there is a Christmas setting and if there is some Christmas carols, it is a Christmas movie. Other people say it is just an action movie. Instead of shouting at the internet for the rest of our life, I decided to do the sensible thing. Build a model. In this video, I'm going to show you how to train a Christmas model classification using soundtrack data and movie metadata to set this old age debate so we never have to talk about this again. So I'm going to turn this die-hard argument into data science. What actually the goal is here, it is not creating a very fancy model or anything like that. It's much pettier than that. We just want to see what people argue on the internet and all this information, if we can turn them into numbers and answer a simple question. With all the information that you have right now, can the model predict if Die Hard is a Christmas movie or not? To do that, first we need a data set. We went to Kaggle where we found a list of Christmas movies with their IMDb rating. And besides that, we found a good chunk of information, as well as directors, the running time, some description of the movie, and as well if they were Christmas special or actually a Christmas movie. And it's fair to say, all the movies that there will be labeled a Christmas movie. And the funny thing is, according to this data set, there were a few movies labeled as Christmas movies that you wouldn't guess it. Some of them will be Shazam, as well as Batman Returns, and Die Hard. You might not agree with it, according to data science, they are. Since the whole point of this video is to analyze what makes it a Christmas movie, so we needed a plot as well. So for that, we used an API that I used in my previous Halloween video to get the whole detail, the plot summaries, so we can have a better understanding of this movie. On top of that, for our training classification, we needed movies that wouldn't be classified as Christmas. So for that, we pick up a massive list outside of our Christmas list and add it to our data sets. And for those ones, we label Christmas is not true. And that got me thinking, what else makes a Christmas movie sounds like a Christmas movie? And then this is where I got the idea, the music. It had to be the soundtrack. So I went on a hunt to find these soundtrack data sets, like a Santa doing their rounds of presents deliveries, but with 1% of battery on their phone. You would expect these to be quite easy, but nope, because I started wondering, where can I get these data sets? How can I get all this information? And even if I get the data sets, would it have all the movies that I'm looking for? This is a side of data science that you don't see in a montage. It's not cool graphics or fancy data models. It is scraping the whole internet to look for the right data set. This is where I stumbled into Discogs, and it's an online market for disco collectors, but for me it was my soundtrack goldmine. So I used the movie title and I stamp a label with online motions picture soundtrack at the end of each title to look for the movie soundtrack. For some of them I got pretty lucky and I managed to get it, but I realized that wouldn't solve all my problems. From there I started taking the track list for each movie and something hit me pretty hard. Out of 702 Christmas movies, I only managed to get 133. At that moment, I realized how important having the soundtrack for my model would be to identify it was a Christmas movie, so I had to start thinking of a different solution. And that's when I found was sound. Of course, there was no API, but nothing can be that easy, but I didn't want to be the Grinch this Christmas, so I decided to go anyway. I had to scrape in an old-fashioned way, but I managed to get 263 movies. I was just generally happy and ready to drop all the other Christmas movies because they seemed like more obscene movies and would just generate noise to my dataset. And for the non-Christmas movies, things were much easier. I had no problem to find any soundtrack since like more popular movies has way more well-documented data. And for that, I managed to get 996 movies for my model. Remember all these to answer one question: what the model is going to say about Die Hard. Before we train anything, we need to understand what Christmas is numerically. In order to do that, we can't just do it with vibes. So we decided to take 3 things that we think is going to be the big intuitions for this data set. One of them will be the people behind the movie, the full plot, and as well as the soundtrack. First, we're looking at the soundtrack, and to identify what is the Christmas song, we need to count the Christmas terms. And to do that, I look for a PDF with a vocabulary to teach kids about Christmas. And thankfully, that makes me spend way less time to trying to tap Christmas words, which started making me feel like the Grinch. And as soon as I got this list, I looked through each movie and got the soundtrack and trying to count how many Christmas songs were there. So there we got the number of Christmas tracks. If the movie had 0 Christmas songs, but it's still a Christmas movie, that's fine. But if the movie had 12 Christmas carols, that's a giveaway. Because rag counts can be kind of wild, we decided to create a log transformer version as well, saying the number of tracks on the log. Because the idea is going to 0 to a Christmas song is a big jump, but from 12 to 13 it makes no difference. The log transformer just tells the model to, hey, calm down, I know you already found a Christmas song, but you don't need to ramp the score that high. Next, we turn to the plot. So we use the same Christmas vocabulary into the plot, and then to figure out how many Christmas terms were inside the plot, so we can find out if the plot has any Christmas theme. For example, if the plot says on a Christmas Eve was happening a Christmas party, the score is gonna go up. But if another one says it was just a party, they're having a good time, that will not count. So the model get a rough idea how much the plot is talking about Christmas theme and not just family or snow. And then we looked at people behind the movies. Some directors pretty much live in a Christmas diary. They basically Santa themselves. And some of them never touched a festival movie. So we used this label to figure out how many movies each director had made and how many of them were Christmas. And we got that label for Director's Christmas Count. And we also made a clip version of it. We capped the amount of some directors that had an extortionate amount of Christmas movie, so the model don't get confused. If those directors already had some Christmas movie on their belt, clearly the next cozy, snowy movie would be more like a Christmas movie. While some action directors don't tend to change genre, so it's safe to say they wouldn't be coming up with a Christmas movie. On top of that, there's some boring features that we have to talk about. For example, the running time and the IMDb rating. Not all of them were few, but since we kind of feel like that was important for analysis, later on we figured out that wasn't. We just fill them in, so the model can't just drop the ball on these features. And those features were not the start of the show, and they turned out to have little to no effect to it, as you're gonna see later on the video. And these are the feature engineering. So we got the soundtrack, the text, the director's history, the IMDb rating, the running time, and we turn all those into numbers. And now, how do I model these? I kept the model very straightforward. We just want to answer a simple question. Is Die Hard a Christmas movie or not? For that, I went with logistic regressions, where we put the inputs in one side and weighted them and calculate the probability of Christmas being true. If the probability was above 0.5, it's safe to say it belongs to the Christmas pile. And if it was below that, it's clearly not a Christmas movie. So it's a very straightforward model. No deep learning, no messy, fancy algorithm. For the test set, still holding back Die Hard, the model did really well and got 96% of accuracy. And for the non-Christmas movies, the prediction was around 9097 and the recall 97. And for that means that the model never mistake a non-Christmas movie for Christmas movies. For the Christmas movie, the precision and the recall was around 93%. So really understand the festive mood around Christmas. And for that, just to put in simple words, it would be around 100 movies that the data analyzed, 96 of them, they would be able to understand what the movie actually was. So it wasn't just a guessing, it was getting analyzed decision to make their opinion. The nice thing about logistic regression, we can actually pick what's happening under the hood. We can actually see what is important for a model or not. And when we look at the coefficients, we see a strong signal pointing to Christmas directors and Christmas clipped directors. And with that, it just shows there are a lot of Christmas directors out there. There are directors that are just doing Christmas movies. And then when we see that director on a movie, we can confidently say, that will be a Christmas movie. Right behind that, we have the number of Christmas track log and the number of Christmas track. It is fair to say the more Christmas songs on the soundtrack, more holiday scores points that you get. And the amount of Christmas words as well gives a positive score. So having Christmas, elf on the plot, definitely we can say, fair to say, is a Christmas movie. And there was a couple interesting negatives ones. So in this data set, the higher the IMDb rating was, the lowest would be probability for them to be a Christmas movie, as well as the running time. So before anyone starts showing snowballs, not every Christmas movie is a bad movie, but generally they are. Wonderful Life is not just a classic Christmas movie, it is, well, one of the greatest movies out there. So it's fair to say on our data set might have some Christmas movies with like really low rating, but that doesn't mean that every Christmas movie it is not a good movie. So it might be a correlation, but it's not cinnamon law. Now that we have trained the model, it's time for the fun part. It's time to see what the data set is going to say about Die Hard. Think about Die Hard on the lenses of these features. It's set on a Christmas Eve, so it helps the text a little bit. There are some Christmas songs, but there are not that many, so it's not a start to finish, but it does help. So the plot talks about Christmas Eve and a Christmas party, but it also talks about terrorists, cops, and attack. So the Christmas stumps are not gonna score that high like Elf. But the director is not known to make Christmas movie, and that feature is one of the most important ones, so it doesn't give a huge boost to being a Christmas movie. And the running time and the IMDb rating, it gives more like an action serious movie than a cozy family movie. We take all these numbers and push into the model, and it comes out with a probability. So with this model, Die Hard comes out with a probability of 76%. And this is better than a coin flip. Obviously, it's not a 96%, but we take what we can get. And accordingly to this particular data set, Die Hard, it is a Christmas movie. Does this settle this argument forever? Absolutely not. Because we come up with few features that we thought would be what is quintessential a Christmas movie. In my eyes, definitely the director, the soundtrack, and if there is some Christmas themes on it. If you think a Christmas movie is purely because of the plot and not because of the day, sorry, I can't help you with that. So you might have to engineer it in a different way. Well, what I like about data science, I can transform a very heated argument on Christmas into a very simple number-based answer. And instead of yelling, no, this is a Christmas movie, no, this is not a Christmas movie, we can just settle the debate completely. Because of these features that we're using, like soundtrack, text, and directors, we can certainly, with 70% accuracy, say that Die Hard, it is a Christmas movie. Now you can disagree with my answer, but now you can point it out what you don't like about my answer. You can say, no, I don't believe that soundtrack matters the most, or maybe the weight should be more on the plot, or actually the directors, or maybe the IMDb rating. So now you know exactly why you don't agree with me. I could have pushed this even further and look for the scripts of the movies, look for keywords inside there, find specific songs on the soundtrack that would be technically more Christmas, or even break the genres in like Christmas romance or Christmas action. But to be very honest with you, I just wanted to annoy people at the party, and for that, my model does plenty. Do you agree with my model? And if not, what features were I got wrong? Let us know in the comments if you were team Christmas, if you're team action movie, or if you're team let's never talk about this again. Hit a like and subscribe, and if you like more videos like these about pop culture, or if you have any arguments, let us know what else can we find out for you.